If you've been thinking about moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, and you're trying to decide between Cary and Wake Forest, well, believe me, these suburbs couldn't be more different. And honestly, they're gonna fit two entirely different people. So before you make the move, here's what you need to know. Now, the biggest difference that's going to be really a make or break for people looking at relocating when they're trying to decide between Wake Forest and Cary, it's going to be the location.
Oh man, location. And Ben, if you open up the map and we locate Wake Forest, so that would be on the northeast side of Raleigh, and then there's Cary on the west side of Raleigh. So if we talk about commute times to the Research Triangle Park, where all the big employers are like Cisco, Lenovo, IBM,
the reason that a lot of people are moving into the area, those are the employers that they're going to work for.
And if you're in Cary, Ben, your commute time to the Research Triangle Park is literally nothing. And to the airport, same thing.
So that's so convenient. And Cary has an amazing reputation. We're going to be talking about that throughout the video.
Yes.
Location is a huge factor. And when we compare that to Wake Forest, then things start to get a little iffy, because now we're talking about anywhere from 20-25 minutes to upwards of 30-35 minutes to get to the airport, to get to those jobs. Now, not everybody works in the Research Triangle, but the majority of people are going to be there.
Yes.
Say you work in downtown Raleigh. Good news is they're both about equal distance to get there. At least right now.
At least right now. I do feel like there's more traffic, more delays moving from the Wake Forest area to downtown Raleigh.
And that is for a reason that we're going to be talking about later in the video in terms of their development, the amount of housing and road projects that are going on, an ongoing issue with Wake Forest, but don't want to spoil too much yet.
Okay, so one other thing that really surprises people when they're making the move here and they're between Wake Forest or Cary. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I could guess, but why don't you just tell me?
Okay, so that would be the downtown, man. So when we compare like downtown Cary and downtown Wake Forest, we can see a lot of differences and good differences. I feel like Cary downtown is very focused on getting families out there, like the Cary downtown park, and there's so many other activities that you can do at the downtown compared to the Wake Forest.
Yes, yeah, with Wake Forest, it's cute, it's quaint, it's a lot smaller and it's a lot more historic. So we've walked both. We've done driving tours of both on the channel that you can check out. But when you're in downtown Wake Forest, they have a lot of pride in, this building was built in the 1800s and this business has been here for 150 years. And it's really cool. Now, if you were going there all the time, I think it would start to get a little boring because there's very limited options and a strong lack of new development, new businesses, which is just a completely different picture from what we see in Cary.
Yes, and I was just thinking about it when we did the Wake Forest tour, like the coffee shop that's over there, that's pretty awesome. There's like the local boutique shops. I mean, it's very nice because like people are making their own small businesses in Wake Forest. But yeah, Cary is on a different level. I think they're just trying to like chunk the world, basically.
Yep, pretty much. They poured millions and millions and millions. I think it was close to 80 million, if I remember correctly, into that Cary downtown park to completely transform it. It's not massive, it's not small either, but it's just got so much playgrounds and open green spaces and a fountain and a built-in kind of convenience store. They do an amphitheater, they put on food trucks. It's really a gathering place for the residents of Cary, and that's something that we have on a smaller scale in Wake Forest, but it's not in the downtown, it's not as central.
That is true. And when you're driving through Cary downtown, man, you can see like new constructions of condos, of new businesses. So you can see like money pouring in and this feel of this is growing exponentially.
Yes.
Honestly, but every month, every year. And we're not seeing that same momentum in Wake Forest yet. I mean, it'll happen, but I think it's gonna take its time.
Now, it's ironic because when you get outside of the individual downtowns, things look very, very different. In Cary, the surrounding area outside of downtown is very old and established. It's very nice, but it was all built out 20 years ago. And that's one of the things people love and hate about Cary.
Yes.
With Wake Forest, once you get outside of the downtown, things actually get newer. There's a lot of development. And the overall, feeling that you get is, wow, things are popping in Wake Forest. Things are constantly coming, new businesses are erecting, and it's just very exciting. And if you like that idea of, constant change and growth, then you're actually gonna feel really at home in Wake Forest. Combine that with the fact that you do have a mix of like suburban laid back pockets, but also there's some pockets that are becoming increasingly popular with young people. You're getting a good healthy mix.
Yes, you are. The thing about Cary too, man, is that it's like set on stone. Like it's done. If you move to Cary, you know what you're getting. You're gonna love it. It's super established. And that community feels like that's what a lot of families here relocating want. They want their kids to grow up nearby a school. And we have a lot of top-rated schools in Cary as well as in Wake Forest. But I mean, that sense of community, that community pride that is going on in Cary, I mean, that's a selling point of Cary too.
It's the suburban dream, I think, is really what we're getting at. And while you can find that in Wake Forest is not going to feel as congruent. It's not going to feel as set in stone. The word that you use, because of all the change and stuff that is happening. So, depending on what you're looking for in that, you might end up leaning one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, if you want brand new communities and you want to put the flag on it and be one of the first settlers, that can be Wake Forest.
One of the first settlers. Downtown is important, but there is one factor that I have seen make the decision for people time and time again. I know you know what it is. Before we get into that, we do not want you to make the move alone. We do not want you trying to find the right place to live, find the right home to buy and call home. Don't do it alone. When you're ready, call the number at the bottom of the screen. You can scan that QR code or just click that link in the description. We would love the opportunity to meet and work with you on making the move to Raleigh.
And the most important thing when making the decision to choose Cary or you choose Wake Forest, and honestly, anywhere you go, that would be home prices. You cannot escape them. You gotta have them. It's part of life, unfortunately, man.
It is part of life. And this is what I always tell people when they call and they ask about these two areas, which is pretty common. The truth is, most people buying in Cary, they're dealing with the home prices because they want the location. And a lot of people that are buying in Wake Forest, they're buying there because of the home prices.
And that's the thing. And you're totally right. And especially in Wake Forest, like people look Wake Forest, proximity with Raleigh, but still, because of the prices are so good, because of the new construction that we're seeing there, man, it's amazing. And like Cary, we talked about it, it's super established. So
very, which means the houses are older.
Yeah.
Your typical home in Cary is going to cost around $650,000. Are there homes cheaper? Yes. Are there a lot of homes that are more expensive? Yes, as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of those homes, they still need paint, they still need flooring. The bar is a lot lower because you're paying a premium for those houses there.
Yes.
Versus in Wake Forest, like you hinted at, new construction,
yes,
increasingly common. Wake Forest is one of the top places to grab new construction. The median home price there on a typical house is about $450,000 to $500,000.
So you're saving a bunch of money.
You're saving a bunch of money, and that amount of money gets you a much newer or even brand new house.
And yeah, we have featured multiple new communities in Wake Forest that are right there on the $500,000 mark, or even a little bit less because of the amazing incentives they have.
Yep.
Those incentives, man, can change your whole world.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that's the main reason I feel like people choose Wake Forest is because prices, proximity to Raleigh, it's amazing.
Yes. Now, even though you do get so much more house in Wake Forest versus Cary, obviously, it's not all about your mortgage payment. It's not all about your house. It is also about your lifestyle and schools and all the other things that we are going to talk about throughout this video. So make sure you keep watching so we can break down all those different points that matter to people like you who are looking at relocating. But one thing that people really don't like about Wake Forest is that because there's all that new construction, there is a lot of, road changes, there's a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
And on top of that, not everybody loves that cookie cutter new build feel. I mean, let's be honest, houses aren't what they used to be in terms of the upgrades they get. A lot of times it's starting to feel like 4 walls and some carpet versus I might go find a home built 20, 30 years ago in Cary that has a lot more character.
That's the thing.
And it has heavily wooded, street-lined trees that make me feel like I'm actually in a really cool neighborhood and not just in some stick-built community.
You're totally right. I mean, when we drove into like different neighborhoods in Cary, that we actually have a full drive tour of that and check it out. But I mean, the nature around every neighborhood, I mean, it's been established neighborhoods from like 30, 40 years ago. I mean, trees that have been there forever. If we look at the new communities in Wake Forest, as you said,
not the same.
Unfortunately, I mean, trees were gone because they needed to build. And we do appreciate that a lot of communities, they want to protect this or put some new trees, but it's still not the same. You're still losing that.
No, in these new communities, they don't come with the strong HOA amenities that you used to see. So in Cary, it's very common to see golf course communities and pickleball and sand volleyball and all these cool amenities that are family focused. In Wake Forest, with the new communities, a lot of them, they have maybe a pool or they have nothing. And so a lot of people who go to Wake Forest for the prices, they may end up still going with a resale home because the south part of Wake Forest and the central part of Wake Forest is older, and you can find a neighborhood that was built 20, 30 years ago, and now you're significantly cheaper than Cary. You might get some of those HOA amenities, those mature trees, but very different feel when it comes to the housing between Wake Forest and Cary. Cary's gonna stay the same. Nothing's really gonna change over the next 10 years. Wake Forest, it might look drastically different versus today, 10 years from now.
So Benjamin, we're forgetting something super, super duper important, man. And honestly, that is one of the main reasons a lot of people relocate here. And if you're relocating, this is important to you. A big one. You know what it is?
I do.
Which one?
It's schools.
Schools, man.
Schools.
Schools.
So for some people, more important than location.
Yeah.
It's more important than even price. I've seen people overpay beyond their budget, somehow stretch the financing or bring extra cash to the table just to get into the right schools.
Yes.
And schools is one of those things that's super subjective. And as realtors, you know, we can kind of guide you, but we can't tell you this school sucks, this school is horrible. We always recommend doing your own research using sources like niche.com or bestschools.org. But listen, we have strong schools, and you already probably know that, right? You've done your research, you know Wake County. People are moving from all over the country because they know those Wake County schools are strong. But there's gonna be some key differences between Wake Forest and Cary.
And one of the key things to look at when you're thinking about moving to Cary, that would be that a lot of those schools are capped, man. It's like, you're thinking about moving next month, and hey, you give us a call, set you up with your house, but what about schools? We gotta do that due diligence, and that's why you got realtors, you got the internet, that you can make research about it, but that is one of the main factors in Cary.
And listen, the schools in Cary, in my opinion, and according to a lot of those sources that I mentioned, they are very, very strong. And because of that, your capped schools, when they get sent to the backup, they're still in a strong school. Most of those people who tell those stories, they aren't like completely screwed. But at the end of the day, you got to be very careful if you're locked in on a specific school, because that is definitely an ongoing issue in Cary, where there's not new housing, and guess what? There's not a ton of new schools being built there either. They just can't keep up with the demand of kids that want to be in those Cary rated schools.
And like we've said and we've mentioned, Cary is established. I mean, Cary's set in stone, so it's hard for them to find even more land to build schools, right? And if they're building new schools, they're moving on to other suburbs nearby Cary, and that is one of the great things about Wake Forest. That you have the room to build new things, right? New schools. And if it's growing currently, there's like new community, gonna throw a new school.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right. We're gonna have new schools with, you know, more resources and maybe higher paid teachers. It's all coming to Wake Forest, and we'll continue to see it come over the next few years. So you're not seeing those enrollment cap issues. And, you know, one thing that Cary really prides itself on is also having top rated private schools, top-rated charter schools. And I think just because of the reputation of Cary schools, people automatically assume that the schools in Wake Forest and all the other, you know, alternative suburbs that they could live in are just automatically inferior. And, you know, I don't like that, because when you look at the data, when you talk to people, you know, I don't think that's true. But surely Wake Forest does not have the online reputation that Cary has for schools, even though they're both in Wake County, even though if you go and Google some of the top rated private Catholic schools, you name it, they're also in Wake Forest.
They are. And at the end of the day, if schools are important for you, are a main factor for your relocation, doing your due diligence, doing your prior investigation is super important, because you might be capped out, you might lose that chance. And hey, that's why you got realtors like us that will help you, will guide you, right?
That's exactly what we do with people like you every single day. And even if you're a year plus out, we always encourage you to reach out and just start that conversation. So do that when you're ready by going to RaleighNCguide.com/consult. Now listen, this wouldn't be a comparison video if we didn't talk about outdoor things to do. That is the reason, literally, that my wife and I moved here from Dallas was for the nature. And spoiler alert, neither Wake Forest or Cary disappoint when it comes to nature, but they are different.
Yes, they are very different and they both have their own thing. You can find a lot of parks and things to do in Wake Forest and in Cary. And they both share a lot of things too with Raleigh. So, I mean, it's the best of both worlds. Honestly, I fell in love, Ben, with the downtown Cary Park. I know I mentioned it before, but for me, that one was beautiful. And I'm not very like, I don't run that fast, Ben. I don't like to walk that much. I got to.
You got winded just trying to get over here to the golf course.
But I feel like for me, downtown Cary Park, it's a short walk. You do your steps real quick, then you go grab a beer and yeah, that's it.
And you're happy.
I'm happy, yeah.
And you're right, there's so much nature, the landscaping. That's a great example, but you know, there's parks sprinkled all throughout Cary. Yes. For example, when we did our driving tour of Cary, we went to the Bond Park, Metro Bond Park. That is a gorgeous place, and there's all sorts of outdoor activities. You can go rent a kayak or a canoe.
You can, yeah.
And you know, a lot of the communities that we featured in that video, they had golf courses and strong amenities and ponds and lakes sprinkled throughout. You really can't go anywhere in Cary and feel like you don't have access to nature.
Yes, and that is one of the main selling points here in North Carolina, in Raleigh, and anywhere you look, is nature, man. It's golf courses, it's parks, it's trails, it's lakes. I mean, we got it all.
Speaking of lakes, Wake Forest has Falls Lake, one of the largest natural lakes here in the Triangle area.
Yes.
And, you know, while I've lived in Wake Forest, I go to that lake all the time for boating, fishing, hiking, camping. I know they do Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, all that kind of stuff up there too. Really cool spot that we were actually just at earlier in this video in one of the scenes. But even though Wake Forest doesn't have as many strong HOA master plan communities, it does have really strong parks and trail systems.
It does.
They even have a free public rec center at one of the parks that allows you to literally rent out a gym for free with weights and everything.
Yes.
You can play basketball, volleyball. There's a huge open green space where they throw like movies out on the lawn. So you get a strong mix of things to do in addition to your YMCAs and all those other kind of recreational activities in Wake Forest as well.
Yes. And Ben, just rewinding a little bit. Wake Forest, next door neighbor is Falls Lake. Cary has quick access to Falls Lake.
Sure.
But we are forgetting about a very important thing. And that is that Cary, to its left, has a massive, beautiful, very popular lake called Jordan Lake.
Yeah, Jordan Lake.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know about Jordan Lake. Actually, I think bigger maybe than Falls Lake, or at least very close in size. It's also a great spot to go out and go boating and all that kind of stuff. Neatly tucked away to that like west side of Cary.
Yeah, so that's why we say that both have their own, both can hold strong in this area. So I mean, I'm fine with either one of those.
I agree.
So one more thing that is super important where you decide to live, with whether it's Wake Forest or Cary, is what do you have around you? What kind of shopping, what kind of dining, what are you gonna do every day?
That's right, that's right. You know, am I gonna go drive 15 minutes to get to the grocery store or can I walk to it? How many local coffee shops are there? You know, what kind of grocery stores do I have? But, you know, what kind of gyms do I have? All the questions come to mind. And I think one thing with either suburb that we're looking at, they're not going to disappoint you, but they definitely are set up in different ways.
They won't. And honestly, I will be a little biased in this comparison.
That's cool.
Because for me, Fenton and Cary is like the maximum thing ever, man. I love it. And for me, that's one of the main points in the whole triangle for shopping.
Yes. Yeah, Fenton rivals what we've seen in Raleigh with its downtown or with North Hills. The truth is, Fenton is a rarity for Cary because Cary is very established, so most of the shopping is going to be nice, but it's older.
Yes.
Fenton is brand new and they're still developing new shops and dining, and that's definitely like the flagship for Cary. It's going to have all your upscale, your nice bougie stores and shops and apartments and movie theater, everything else.
Okay, and in Wake Forest, you do have a brand new shopping center that would be Grove 98.
Yeah.
Where you have tacos, you got a Wegmans, you got a lot of things to do, and it's new.
One thing that surprises me about Wake Forest is despite the amount of new construction and otherwise new development, there's not as many brand new shopping centers being built. They did get recently like a brand new Publix, and they are getting stuff. It's coming, and over the next 5-10 years, there's going to be a massive influx of brand new shopping and dining. So it is coming. But the reason people love Cary is even if it's a little bit older, for the most part, you move in day one, and within 5 minutes, you've got Trader Joe's, you've got a Publix or a Whole Foods, you've got super Targets, giant established shopping centers, and if that one doesn't have what you need for some reason, another one 5-10 minutes away does. And that is the big appeal for anyone, you know, myself included, with Cary, that Wake Forest doesn't quite have. It's a little more spread out in Wake Forest, but I don't think that will always be the case either.
That won't, Ben. And one more thing that I just remembered, one thing that I love about Cary, you know what it is?
I wish I knew.
It's the diversity in food, man. So that's one of the main things in Cary. I mean, you have dinings from all around the world. You can go to a restaurant of this, a restaurant of that. And I don't see that in Wake Forest yet. No. I've seen some like taco places and stuff in Wake Forest, but not as many variety as in Cary.
No. And honestly, another thing that really makes Cary stand out is that it has more local stuff. So even though it does have your big chains, it does have your Costco, it does have your Targets, it also has a lot of local shops, local gyms, local this and that. And that's kind of a unique aspect of Cary versus in Wake Forest. It is more your chains. You're more likely to run into your Lowe's Foods and your Home Depot and you know, your Panera Bread, things that you can find anywhere. So there's not as many unique shopping centers or businesses that are making Wake Forest really stand out for me.
Yes, same here, Ben. And honestly, I think it's time for us to eat.
Let's go. So the real question that I'm having is if I'm moving into one of these areas, Cary or Wake Forest, you know, what is it going to actually look like if I live there for 5 years or 10 years, right? How are things going to change? Because I know that, you know, Cary definitely is more established. Wake Forest definitely has more of that growth and progress happening. I mean, what am I going to move in and then end up living in a completely different area than I thought I was getting into just a few years down the road?
Yes, and I think that's a super valid question. And I feel like you already answered that question. Because, I mean, the future for Wake Forest, with all that's happening, all the new construction, all the new communities, all the upcoming projects, I feel like in 5 to 10 years, some neighborhoods that are new today will be more established by then.
Yeah.
You will see more established communities, more established families. Cary, on the other hand, Cary just keeps on growing, man. And people keep on relocating to this area. What we've seen in Cary is that there's a lot of influx of money, a lot of new projects, redeveloping new areas like Fenton, like the downtown Cary Park, where a lot of money was thrown into. So that's my take.
So Cary's not really expanding, but it is getting better, in your opinion. You have all the established things now. That's not really going to change, but they might come in and reinvest into the schools, the parks, versus Wake Forest. This block of land that was farmland that I used to enjoy the privacy or the serene drive is now going to be retail and shopping, which is both a benefit to me, but also a detriment. And this neighborhood that was the brand new flashy new construction, well, it's going to get replaced by another neighborhood that's going to get built next door. That's the differences over the next 5-10 years. Wake Forest, it's going to look dramatically different. Cary is just going to tweak and improve over the years. So it really is going to come back to, you know, are you looking for something that's stable and something that you can just buy into and you have that certainty? Or are you looking to get in on something that is going to change and grow, but you kind of like that idea? That's only something that you can decide. But at the end of the day, we're here to help you choose between the two. And maybe the answer is neither is the right fit for you. When you're ready to have that conversation and help find the right place to buy a home and call home, make sure you call the number at the bottom screen, scan that QR code, or just click that link in the description. We would love the opportunity to meet you. In the meantime, if you want to see a driving tour of either Cary or Wake Forest, you have to check out these videos. We'll see you next.